Sometime during the year 2012, I was at a friend's place for a sleepover. For some reason, around probably too late, I saw my friend's brother playing the demo for The Darkness 2. It looked visceral and, well, for my younger self, super violent and inappropriate, but it always stuck in my head. Years later, I saw a playthrough of The Darkness 2 on RadBrad's channel. It still looked fun to play. Now at 21, I still want to play that game, which I now own, but I wanted to try out its predecessor, The Darkness 1, because, well, my 12-year-old self never paid attention to it. So, let me show you the beautiful world of darkness.
It's in the closet. Have a blast.
Starbreeze Studios in 2004 was creating the stealth action video game The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. When released on June 1st, 2004 in North America, the video game received critical acclaim for the visuals and gameplay. Despite receiving critical acclaim, it did not become a commercial success for the studio. After the release of Butcher Bay, Starbreeze encountered financial difficulties after not receiving a royalty payment from their publishing company, Vivendi. The studio had to then sell part of its motion capture and animation department to a British company, Centroid. One good thing that did come from the Riddick game was how well it set Starbreeze's reputation as a capable studio that makes excellent licensed games. The Darkness originally was a comic book created by Mark Silverstreet, Garth Ennis, and David Wohl. Jackie Estacado in his Darkness first appeared in an American comic book series published by Top Cow Productions in 1996. The comic portrays Jackie as a man with a swagger, a ladies' man, and closed off, which is an odd mesh. Now while the comic does have some excellent art panels, others don't hit the mark. Though Starbreeze saw something in Top Cow's comic series, so with the help of Union Entertainment, they signed an agreement with Majesco Entertainment for a new title within the Darkness universe on July 16, 2004. Midway through development, Majesco underwent reconstruction because of financial difficulties and dropped the game. Starbreeze then became stuck, floating in the middle of the ocean. But one company came from the ashes, called 2K Games. 2K acquired the publishing rights, extended the game's development cycle, and asked Starbreeze to develop a multiplayer mode for the game. So finally, The Darkness was released in 2007. Now while its commercial performance was satisfactory, selling more than 1 million copies, it fared worse than the team expected critic-wise. So let's see how the gameplay holds up, and if these critics are right or not. Now Starbreeze put a ton of effort into The Darkness. The presentation is immaculate. The light in the game, while not realistic, has harsh shadows to push forward the darkness mechanic and atmosphere. Other areas of the game bring this to the forefront as well, like the subway and city streets. The main hub world, which are the subways, brings a great sense of world building, even if it's just random civilians sitting on benches, walking downstairs, dancing to the radio, or playing harmonica. Here you see people living their lives and somehow start feeling connected to this tiny world on Grinder Lane in New York City. Throughout your interactions in the subway, some fellow civilians may give you side quests. Some from characters like Jimmy the Grape or Vinny will give you targets to take out, or other quests like a woman that dropped her ring, or tricking a con artist out of his own money.
The middle one. You pinche puteria, you fucking lucky bastard!
With finishing these side quests, you get these phone numbers, which is odd for sure, but calling these unlock bonus content like small documentaries or concept art. During the 2006 E3 demo, some of the Starbreeze devs talk about the TVs you find during the game.
We're interrupting this demonstration, this gameplay demonstration, with a special feature about the TV in the darkness.
What you're looking at right now is Darkness TV.
It's a feature in the game where we have the ability to play different kinds of movies. Full-length movies, we can have TV shows playing on TVs all through the game.
So this is actually one of these features that we feel like is next generation for us. Being able to go to any TV in the game and turn it on and actually have something running that resembles the real world. We can play basically everything like feature-length movies, animated cartoons, strips from the gameplay about the story, stuff like that.
So, if you feel like taking a break during gameplay, you can always just relax, watch a movie or a TV show in the game. It's pretty cool.
I love that you can switch to shows of pop by, hear music videos when you walk by, or watch the news. It immerses the player into this gritty environment where there never seems to be any hope. Another aspect that brings the quests and story together is the dialogue. The actor that plays Jackie Estacado is Kirk Acevedo, from the fantastic show Band of Brothers, and other great work.
I've heard people complain that life is unpredictable. Well, I never had a life that was predictable. But what happened to me today? That's why I need you, Jenny. You're the only one I can count on.
The person that voices the darkness is Mike Patton. He's the lead vocalist for the metal band Faith No More. And Jesus, he sounds threatening as hell.
They burn Jackie. All of the little ones. Such delicate torture of body and soul. I am yours to control for now. But Jackie, with each life you take, I grow closer to owning your soul.
Uncle Paulie Franchetti is played by Dwight Schultz, who has been in many famous animes.
You know you've been a pain in my ass since the day I met you, Jackie. Pissing and moaning about the way I do business. Well, you need to learn who's calling the shots in this family. I've been very, very generous to you, Jackie. In fact, I got a surprise for you on your birthday.
Other great voice actors seal the deal and really get you invested into the story and game. Now onto the actual gameplay aspect we all love, and that is the combat. And the darkness has some troubles. Now the gunplay is solid. You can aim in for some accurate shots, but it'll be difficult to shoot. When you aren't focused in, the game gives you a very generous auto-aim, which either saved my ass or killed me. Now for weapons, you have dual pistols that feel punchy and are effective. A shotgun, which is fantastic at close range, but good luck trying to shoot anyone from far away. The MAC-10 can do a lot of damage, and is excellent at making people crumple to the floor. Now you get tons of other weapons, but I have 13 hours of footage for this game, and I will just tell you to play it and experience the irritation and happiness you will get from it all. One thing I will gripe about is how the dark powers are not fun to use. Sure, the powers are cool and have a purpose, but they don't make you feel like a badass. They're just there to eat hearts, sound epic, and push the story along. And to add to that gripe list, the movement speed is painful. I never thought I wanted a run button so badly until I played this game. I felt like it took 20 minutes to cross the street, where in real life, I can do it in 10 seconds. So, fuck the movement speed in this game, because it's janky. Now, the box art is the most edgiest shit, and I adore it. It really is something you can make a mural out of. The back tells you vaguely what the story is about, and some hitting points like the multiplayer, which is inactive, or how you can use the darkness for combat. Overall, it's a decent case, and I only got the game for $5 at GameStop, which was a steal. The game at the time of release was maybe between $20 to $60. On the Xbox Marketplace in Europe, the game sells around £19, or $22 digitally. Complete in box will be sold around the $10 range. Now you can get this game for the Xbox 360 and PS3, and they look about the same, and no collector's edition was released. Also, going through my collection of Game Informer, on issue 171 you can find a 2-page spread for an advertisement, and it looks exactly like the game box art, because it is. There were also a few trailers for The Darkness. One notable trailer is on Top Cow Productions' official YouTube channel. The trailer shows Jackie in an old art model, which doesn't look good. And I mean, look at this man now. In the trailer, he shoots a bunch of goons and allows the darkness to kill as well. It's not a bad cinematic trailer and gives people a feel of what the game is. Either way, it's not bad. Now in this section, I will be talking about some of my favorite parts of the story. I will not be doing a full breakdown, but if you prefer to experience it yourself, then I recommend you play the game and skip this section. I believe the intro of the game sucks a ton. You start off talking to the most unlikable characters, and they are killed off before you even remember their names. Though the car crash leading into the title card is simple but effective. I really love the aspect of how all hell breaks loose on Jackie's 21st birthday. It's life basically telling him he's an adult now, and it will feel like a train running over you. I think a glaring issue that maybe would sell the story a little bit better is how your relationship was before Uncle Polly literally got pissed off at you and threw shit to the fan. It's really only shows him as a villain, almost cartoony way, but so is having a black snake gooey thing coming out of your body that eats hearts. So I mean, take this with a grain of salt. I just feel like Polly, and especially Police Chief Schroet, they do well as villains, I guess, but I don't know, something about them, they just super over the top. But then again, who doesn't love killing some jerks? I love when emerging out of the cemetery bathroom, the darkness finally presents itself. It is a fantastic game reveal. My favorite character is Jackie's girlfriend, Jenny. Now, Jenny is one of the best love interests in video games because it feels normal. You both grew in an orphanage together and experienced all the same bullshit of life. You have conversations about work and how you miss each other, and you really grow to like her, not just as the player, but as Jackie. When you finally see her in person, the player starts to feel connected. When you are at the apartment, she baked you a cake and you can even tell her the truth about your job, even though she doesn't believe. The video game even puts you in a situation where you can watch the entire film of To Kill a Mockingbird with her. Later in the story, you call Jenny to learn that the orphanage is burnt down by Polly and his gang, and you go to meet her. You learn even more that Jenny is a caring individual and feels like the only good person in this world of shit. When Jimmy the Grape tells you that Jenny has been taken by Polly later in the story to the orphanage, you feel a sense of urgency and real stakes come to fruition. So far, it's just been shooting people and people getting mad at you. The sense of dread grows when you travel to the burnt down orphanage as you see flashbacks of Jenny and Jackie. She was the light in the darkness, and when you finally come to her, the darkness stops you, so it is impossible to help her.
So now, I take from you.
Jackie, this is not your fault.
Even though I was spoiled to this part many years ago, it still feels painful. I hate it. Now, the darkness didn't cause the main issue at hand, which is Polly and Schroet, but it helped direct Jackie into a different path of trouble. Throughout the game, you find out the darkness is using you more than helping. After the death of Jenny and yourself, you go to this hell-like landscape that fittingly is World War I. Now, while I love this concept, I feel it really drags on, just like some of the New York areas. It can overstay its welcome. I think it is pretty neat that you do learn more about the darkness in this section of the game, like how your great-great-grandfather, Anthony Estacado, is responsible for bringing the darkness into the family. Plus, the darkness lying to you constantly is so unnerving, and got my gut twisted a little bit just thinking about it. The darkness basically heals Jackie in these sections when he shoots himself, but in real life it can take days or even weeks. Not like real life, but like real life in game. Not the World War section, the New York section. Yeah. Anyway, he's no Wolverine at all. Another great aspect is all the characters that help you along the way, like Jimmy the Grape, Aunt Sarah, and the Butcher. All good people in the Mafia world, at least. The few action sequences I enjoyed a ton while playing was chasing Chief Schroet and the shootout in the church. Really, anything with Schroet was decent. The chase involved shooting through a police department and some apartments. The church sequence involved cops knowing about your power, so they used lights and flashbangs, which I felt was very creative. Just wish they used more in the base game for some more unique combat encounters. This entire sequence with the drill going to Jackie's jaw was brilliant. It made me twinge at the feeling and how visceral it was. Also, I loved the voice acting and the build up to causing the briefcase bomb to blow up. So when you get back to World War I Purgatory, or whatever it is, you get a turret rail section. Now, while these are cheesy and overused in so many video games, I actually didn't mind it. It really changed the mood for it and made you feel like you were in the final stretch, even if there was like 5 hours left of the game. Another good aspect was when fighting the darkness at the core of the castle. I think it was smart to use yourself as the weapon instead of a health bar and just shooting tons of bullets into something. The ending of the story and game is immaculate. The buildup of causing terror through the mansion and killing Polly was well worth the ending scene. When the full eclipse happened and letting the darkness unleash was perfect. Way to encapsulate the power that is the beast. Also, shooting in the Polly in the lighthouse was not a horrible set piece, even if it was kind of lame. But I'll let the rest play out.
There's always a little light in the darkness. Didn't I tell you so, sweets?
Jenny?
We get one moment, Jackie. It's all they can allow.
What? Who?
Just one moment. Just to say goodbye.
You were everything to me. And all I ever did was kill you. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I can't forgive you, Jackie. How can I forgive you when it wasn't your fault? You have to go now.
I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you.
I know.
Am I dreaming?
Yes. You have to wake up now. Wake up.
From an ending that makes you hate life, explosive combat, epic voice acting, and awkward movement controls, The Darkness brings a certain type of emotion that is not joyful, but makes you appreciate what Starbreeze made. There will always be gripes about this game in my book, but I would recommend this to people if they were tired of all the new games coming out. So an anti-hero was born, and eventually a sequel that may or may not have been justified, and not even created by the same team. But that is for another time. I am Mad Retro, and this was The Darkness.